Hello everyone, thank you again for tuning in. This is Stay Away from Narcs. I really appreciate your time and all the love again that you've been showing and your comments and your stories, and I hope those of you that are new to this channel find this channel as a place of sanctuary and a place of healing to help yourself and to educate yourself about narcissism, and if you're not already in your healing process, to learn and to know that you're not crazy, you're not what the narcissist is telling you. And I really appreciate all the love. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. And if you have any comments or questions, please put those below and share your stories so we can all continue healing. I want to, just before I get into the next video that I'm going to be explaining a little bit about today, the last video that I had uploaded, I kept saying 30 days a week, and I want to let you guys know that I meant to say 30 days straight. It was early in the morning, and I should have not said 30 days a week. I'm not sure why I said that. I guess it was, I stumble upon my words sometimes, so I just want to reiterate, and because I said it pretty frequently throughout the video. But anyway, let's get into today's next topic that we're going to be talking about. And today's topic is regarding what exactly happens when you try to get away from a narcissistic family. Now, you can be this is especially geared at the children of narcissists that are trying to get away, or in-laws. Again, I was an in-law. I had an ex-narcissistic mother-in-law, severely highly narcissistic. She was a grandiose narcissist. And I want to explain about the tactics that narcissist is going to use, and how that narcissist uses the family members, and how the family members join in on the abuse. So this is going to be the narcissistic abusive tactics of that narcissist, whether they're your in-law, whether they're your parent, whoever they are, and the family's abusive tactics themselves, because it's not always the narcissist, number one, that is the only narcissist in the family. Or, if there's only one narcissist, a lot of these family members are going to be toxic themselves and enable the toxic ways of that narcissist. And you'll see the toxicity run down from so many members of the family of that narcissist. They'll jump in on the abuse, especially when you try to leave, and especially when you try to, you're starting to get the word out to other people in their community, or other people that know them, about their abusive ways. Because when it comes to a narcissistic family, the major thing that they are so afraid of is their reputation getting messed up. I will state that again and again, because a narcissistic family system, you're going to see them faker than fake. Okay? And the only thing they have is their fakeness to keep their facade and their image together, for the outside community to believe that they're saints, for the outside community to believe that they're God-fearing people, that they're loving people, that they're compassionate people, when on the inside of their homes, they're abusive in every which way, verbally, emotionally, sexually even. You can see incest on the side of these families. You can see pedophilia on the side of these families. They are predators. They have to make their false image and facade to the outside, and you'll see them, in these family photos. They'll make themselves, they'll bring in a photographer all over their social media. You'll see in their family photos that they look like this big, giant, kind and loving and compassionate family, and they enjoy each other's time, and they have parties together. And especially if they're a grandiose narcissistic family, they will, they'll usually have the nicest house in the neighborhood, the nicest cars, the nicest clothes, because they use all of that stuff as a fake facade to push all their abuse and all their toxic ways under the rug. They need a fake image that everybody on the outside looks at them and they're like, oh wow, this is a beautiful family, when in reality they're a toxic, rotting, cruel, oppressive cult in a sense. And I'm going to explain a little bit about that from my own personal experience, and what exactly is going to happen to targets of narcissistic abuse that try to get away after they have found this out. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go a bit into a little bit of my own personal story that I might have explained a little bit in the abusive tactics of the narcissistic mother-in-law, but I'm going to go more into the impacts of that family system as a whole, revolving around that narcissistic mother-in-law that I had. So when I first came in, and you'll see this when you're entering a family that you don't know are narcissistic, that you don't know are toxic, the only things that you have to base on to understand who these people are number one, your red flags. Your red flags are going to show up right up front, and you're going to get that vibe of whether this is whether these are good people or not, right? But a lot of the time, the love bombing is so crucial and is so needed. Narcissistic family systems know how to show a fake facade, okay? Not just the narcissist, the whole entire family does, okay? Because when you get invited over into that household, that family is going to put on the love bombing show of to do whatever they have in their power that they can do to wipe any red flags away. Okay, they're going to boost your self-esteem. They're going to give you the best compliments. They're going to, pay for your dinner. They're going to say, oh, how great partner you are for a potential spouse, maybe that you're going to get married to in the family. Okay, especially when you're coming into this family in the first place. And they will love bomb your red flags away. Okay, any red flags that you had there initially, they will try to wipe out with the love bombing, with the gift giving, with the self-esteem booming, and make you seem like you're the best person ever. Because in the beginning, you red flags, your vibes are telling you, I don't know if this family is a good fit for me. But the second you're going to switch up because that family is giving you so many compliments and love bombing, and it's like they give you whatever that you want in the beginning, right? That's something, please, that you guys pay attention to. Please. If in the beginning you feel like something is not right, but all of a sudden you're switching, just based on the words of these people that you're interacting with, that's a good sign that you need to get out, because that's a good sign that you're getting conditionally love bombed to be, taken into this family for abuse. And that's exactly how a cult works. And they'll love bomb you to take you in. So once you're in, the only other way other than your red flags that you're going to know is unless somebody has known this family, okay, and knows that who exactly they are on the inside of their home. And I'm going to tell you, the people that are really going to know who these people are, a lot of the time, I'm not going to say for every single time, but a lot of the time, are neighbors. Okay, neighbors that live right next door or right across the street, right in the area of that narcissistic family. Neighbors are usually the ones that know the most, okay? Especially if they were there were kids that were, brought up around that family. Neighbors that are constantly invited inside of the house of that narcissistic family. They're going to be able to tell you if they've been over that house numerous times inside the house. It's crucial that they're inside the house, that they know. They're going to know that something is not right with this family, okay? So if you're somebody that is coming from outside, go to the neighbors. Go to the neighbors. If you feel like something is not right, go to the neighbors of that family. And, maybe sometimes the neighbors won't even know. Like, I don't deal with those people. I don't, but there's a good chance that those neighbors know that family's up to no good. Even if they don't go on the inside of their house, they may get a vibe that family, there's something wrong. And the reason why you need to go to the neighbors and pay attention to your red flags is because narcissistic family systems, again, put on that facade of fakeness to an extreme level. I went all over the social media of the narcissistic family, and I felt like they were the most loving, kind, and compassionate family because they're, again, the family photos, they'll do family vacations, and everything they have to do has to be a portrayal to the outside world that they are the best, loving, kind, compassionate, smart, intelligent, any positive trait type of family, when they are the opposite on the inside of their homes. Okay? And so it took me 10 months to start to figure this out. Because once you're in that family and they reel you in, they're going to start covertly abusing you, especially, the narcissistic in-laws, okay? If you're coming in on the inside of this family, those in-laws will covertly abuse you up front. You won't see a lot of overt abuse in the beginning, most likely, you'll see those covert things where they're trying to instill you and trying to diminish your self-esteem a little bit. They're trying to maybe get financial information out of you, any type of information that they can grab from you, to financially abuse you and whatnot. And once that covert abuse is intact, but the more time that you spend around that family and inside that household, the more signs you're going to see that something isn't right. Okay? You're going to see sibling rivalry. One day you'll see a picture of the siblings in the narcissistic family. They live like they love and care for each other. You'll see the exact opposite happening on the inside of the household. I specifically seen and heard of that the person that I used to be with had a sibling rivalry and fist fought his brother. Okay, because the narcissistic mother in the household were pitting the siblings against each other, and they ended up in fist fights. But in the next day, or maybe a couple weeks later, they'll be in a family photo and act like nothing happened, and they're portraying their loving kindness and their loving, quote unquote, sibling, loving caring ship, whatever you want to call it, to the world, so people don't know the truth. Okay, narcissistic families are known for their toxicity, and they're known, number one, for covering it up. Whether it's emotional abuse, physical abuse, like I said, incest. A lot of incest happens in these families. A lot of molestation happens in these families. And the number one thing that you can do to destroy the reputation of the narcissist, obviously, is to speak out the truth about this family. And the second you start to speak out the truth on this family, they will come for you. They will come to smear you. They will come to discard you. They will come to scapegoat you. They will come to destroy you, whichever any way that they can possible. Because the reputation is number one to them, again, especially if they're a grandiose narcissistic family. The reputation, you don't mess with their reputation. Okay? But no matter what, okay, the second you see injustice, know that you're in the right for speaking the truth. They're going to smear you. They're going to come after you. They will try to discard you. But I'm going to tell you, if you're one of those types of people, okay, that you see this injustice and you see these bad things happen to you, discard them. Discard them before they start to discard you. Put in your plan and don't say anything to any single one of the family members, because all of these family members are tied together. They're flying monkeys of each other. Okay? The narcissist will gather. They will make sure that they manipulate every single family member that speaks to you, and control every single family member that speaks to you, in order to have control of the scenario, and send out those flying monkeys, send out those enablers to get you to either A, be hoovered in, A, be gaslit and manipulated, A, apologize for something that you didn't do. They want to control you because they cannot let their narrative get out there. Okay? And the second they know that they will put that out there. So you cannot communicate with any single member of any of the members of that family. Don't do it. No matter how much you trust them, do not do it, because that narcissist has a way to getting to them. Trust me. Okay? Block all, if you got them on social media, block all of them. Put in the plan. Be quiet to yourself, that you will start to get away. And you will discard the narcissist and you will get away. And what happens if you decide to get away? And again, if you're an in-law, if you're a child of a narcissist, and you want to get away from that family system because you know the injustices, okay? And every time you try to speak out, here's another thing. Anytime that you try to speak up, especially if you were a child of a narcissist, you tried to speak up against the wrong that you've seen that happen in the family, toxic things, whether it's molestation, whether it's incest, whether it's verbal abuse, emotional abuse, anything that you see is bad and you're a justice seeker, you will get scapegoated by your family. Your family is going to put the blame on you and act like you did wrong. And they will shun you, and they will stop you from being assertive and speaking up against the truth, because again, that narcissistic family system is they're so afraid that their reputation is going to get messed up. You hold the key. If you're a scapegoat, if you're a justice seeker, if you're a truth seeker, you hold the key of telling the truth and exposing them. So they have to destroy you in any way that they think is possible. Before they destroy you, know right is right and wrong is wrong. No matter what your relationship is to the narcissist, know right is right and wrong is wrong. If you continuously see abuse and you're continuously being shut down by narcissists and the family members, like I would literally see my ex and his family members, when he would try to speak up about something that he saw was wrong or he didn't think was right around his family members would literally put their fingers on their lips and try to shush him from saying anything. And he would abide by it because he was raised that way. He was raised not to be assertive. He was raised not to have boundaries. He was raised not to speak up because a narcissistic family system instilled fear in him. That's the last thing, okay? Don't be fearful of a narcissistic family system. They are fearful of you because they know that you have the power. Okay, if you are an empathic, intuitive person, they know you have the power to expose them for who they are. They know you have the power to get away and not be controlled by their toxic dysfunction. And the second that they can't control that is the second that they all go insane and lose control and they have to attack you. You being the child, or you being, whatever the relationship you have is to that narcissistic family system, and getting away, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, okay? And they will smear you. They will try to smear you. They will try to scapegoat you, but know that the truth always prevails. The truth will always prevail, okay? And here are some things that, other than, scapegoating and smearing you, that they might do. They will, specifically, a narcissistic mother, a narcissistic parent, they will play victim to the rest of the family members. To anybody that has contact with you or knows you and you're trying to get away, they will play victim and claim that you are trying to hurt them, that they're going to kill themselves because you don't love them. They will threaten you with suicide attempts to try to hoover you back in to get the control. They will try to play the victim and make it seem like you hurt them. For an example, my ex, he caught his narcissistic mother scrolling through his text messages one day, and he just went berserk. He couldn't, he was at the point that he couldn't take the abuse anymore by her, and, his privacy being invaded by her. And he went to go grab the phone from her hands, and the second that he grabbed the phone, she went berserk because she lost control. And she claimed that he tried to grab her arm and break it. Okay? This is what these sociopathic, narcissistic, people do. And then the rest of the family is looking like at you, the one that is trying to do right. They're going to look at you like you're the crazy one, like you're the insane one, like you're the psychopathic one. Like you want to hurt the narcissist. The narcissist is going to play that victim game. They're going to claim that you never loved them, that you never did this for them, that you never did that. They're going to put on, especially if they're a more covert narcissist, they might put on more of a victim show. Okay? If they're a grandiose narcissist, they might come and attack you. If they're more on the malignant side, they might come to try to attack you and slash your tire, for example. I know of a malignant narcissistic mother, when their child tried to get away, she eventually, number one, tried to throw him out of the house. And then, when he tried to drive off in his car, before he did that, she slashed his tire. And it was so eerie because when I turned around and I saw his car, that tire was completely flat. And I knew intuitively, I didn't see it in front of my eyes, but I knew intuitively that this narcissistic mother was the one that did that she slashed the tire of his car so he would not be able to get away. Okay, they will, depending on the type of narcissist, the tactics they use differ. But usually it's a combination of control, manipulation, gaslighting, sending the flying monkeys after you. They're going to manipulate all the other family members. And they're going to make sure that the family members that can get to you, if they can get to you, again, like I said, if you didn't block them or if there's some way that they have access to you, that they're going to make sure that they instill so much fear in you not to say a word about the truth, about what happens on the inside of that narcissistic home. They will try everything, okay? Specifically, I'll go into one more example, just so this video is not so prolonged, but specifically, I remember the night that I was over the ex's narcissistic family's home. And mind you, the narcissist was not even there that day. It was a sibling of the narcissist and an in-law of the narcissist that were there. And they had been either A, manipulated so badly by the narcissist, or B, they were just extreme enablers of the narcissist and were toxic and narcissistic themselves. I still don't know exactly which one. It may be a combination because, toxicity breeds toxicity. That's what happens in these types of families. If one person is toxic, usually a lot of the other ones will enable the toxicity and become toxic themselves. So this was the norm for them. And the in-law and the sibling of this narc were, trying to keep our mouths shut so bad, my ex and me, because they were I could tell that they were so afraid that we were going to say something, or that I specifically was going to say something. And all they did that night was scapegoat me. Put the blame on me, that I was the one that came and ruined their family. I was the one that did this. The lame excuses. And when I was sitting there, I was so emotionally frustrated that I began to cry. And you could see on the looks on their face that they didn't even care. They had no empathy for my tears. They had no feeling. These people don't use feeling. That's how you can tell a toxic person is a toxic person. That they do not care about another person's feeling. If you're sitting there and you're crying in front of them, they're going to act like you're a robot. And they're going to be they're going to have a robotic look themselves. They're not gonna console you. They're not gonna care. They're gonna tell you to shut off your feelings, okay, and to shut up. And essentially, this is what the family members of these narcissists were telling me, and telling my ex, that you better not say anything. That's literally what they told us, like right before I left that night. Do not say anything out there. Everything that happens in this household stays in this household. And I'm gonna preach a word to you today that if you ever hear somebody tell you, whatever happens in this household stays in this household, that's toxic dysfunction right there. That's toxic dysfunction. Because that's letting people know that if abuse happens in this house, if, we're alcoholics and we don't want the community to know, if we abuse drugs, if we abuse each other, you don't say anything. You keep it under the rug. You keep it under the rug so we can continue to abuse each other and continue this dysfunction and continue this toxicity. And abuse begets abuse, so that cycle would only continue into the next generation. And you getting away are that cycle breaker. I want to let you know that right now. Especially if you were a child of a narcissist that has been battered, abused, and been shunned and kept quiet from speaking out against the truth and the reality of what you've been going through, and been blamed for the dysfunction of your family when you try to speak out against it. If you get away, and if you are successful and you do not become back, hoovered back into that family, you are a cycle breaker. You are breaking the cycle of dysfunction, okay? So for the sake of timing for this video, hopefully I'll talk about, this topic again if you have any questions or comments on it. Thank you. I appreciate your time very much if you got to the end of it. And again, I hope you find this channel as a sanctuary of learning and understanding and healing more and more. And with your help and you sharing your stories, that's a great contribution. So thank you again. I hope you have a blessed day. Until the next video, stay away from narcs.